Breaking news tonight. An overnight crash on a North Mississippi highway leaves 1 dead and 2 seriously hurt. What led to this overnight crash and the condition of the 2 victims? Plus, after a summer of mass shootings nationwide and one at a Texas elementary school, Memphis Shelby County Schools is doing their part to prevent a mass shooting from happening within their district. Find out how much money the school board is voting to approve and what upgrades the money will go to. And after the Supreme Court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade and the Tennessee Federal Court of Appeals greenlighting Tennessee's abortion ban, Planned Parenthood is suspending all abortions in the state. How women will still be able to get the care they need with yet another obstacle in their way. And we start with an update to breaking news tonight. 1 person is dead and 2 people are fighting for their lives tonight after a shooting on a North Mississippi highway that ended in a crash. Good evening and thank you for joining me for Action News 5 at 5. I'm Noah Sershin and for Joe and Joy. Investigators say that at least 30 shell casings were found at that crime scene. Now this all happened in Marshall County on Highway 178 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Action News 5's Walter Murphy is at Regional 1 Medical Center with an update on the 2 victims.
The 2 victims are still here at Regional 1 at last check. One of the victims is on life support, and Marshall County investigators say the other victim is listed as very critical. Now, the incident all stems from a shooting that happened on Highway 178 in Marshall County last night. Deputies say they received a call about a car accident shortly after 10 o'clock near Bicycle Road. But when officers arrived, they realized the passengers had been shot multiple times. Their car had been flipped on its side after veering off of the road when those shots were fired. Investigators say an additional gunshot victim had been dropped off by private vehicle at Holly Springs Medical Center. Now that person, who had just turned 21 years old on Sunday, was pronounced dead. 2 other victims here at Regional 1 are both 18 years old. A 4th victim was released from the hospital shortly after the incident. Now investigators are pleading with anyone who knows anything to come forward with information.
And we're not just asking kids or that generation. We're asking parents who hear something, let us know what's going on so we can continue to develop all the information we need to gather, put these case files together and prosecute these people for killing these kids.
McMillan says that investigators are still looking for 2 more individuals that they think might have some information about the shooting, and no arrests have been made in the incident. And if you have any information, report it to Marshall County Sheriff's Office. But for now, reporting at Regional 1, I'm Walter Murphy, Action News 5.
Walter, thanks. And to some more breaking news, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and Aaron Police Department is needing your help tonight to find a man who police say murdered a law enforcement officer out in Aaron, Tennessee. That's near Cumberland City and Waverly. The TBI issued a statewide blue alert for BJ Brown, who you see on your screen right now. Now, Brown is considered armed and dangerous. Law enforcement officials ask that if you know of Brown's whereabouts, you are urged to call TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Also breaking tonight, a man has been indicted in the shooting death of a 4-year-old who was just sitting in his booster seat when shots rang out. Just a tragic story there. The Office of the District Attorney General says that Terrell Woods fired a gun into a minivan during an argument in North Memphis last year. Now, according to that report, he missed the man he intended to shoot and instead shot the young child inside the van. Woods is currently free on a $500,000 bond. A Memphis man is facing a rape charge tonight after a Raleigh grandmother told police that her 16-year-old daughter was raped by a man who she met on Facebook. Memphis police arrested Philip Glasper after he contacted the minor on Facebook saying that he'd take her shopping last week. Instead, the 16-year-old girl said that Glasper took her to another neighborhood in Raleigh where he sexually assaulted her in his car and then forced her out of the vehicle and took off. Surveillance and MPD cameras in the area helped officers track down this suspect. Glasper was charged with aggravated rape and taken into police custody at his North Memphis home yesterday after he was positively identified by the victim. You can run, but you can't hide. Those are the words tonight from Tipton County Sheriff Shannon Beasley after a suspect ran away from the scene of a crash that involved a sheriff's deputy. Deputies were searching for Curtis Rains after he ran away from deputies in a car crash. The deputy had a large wound to the head following the crash and had to be treated at a hospital here in Memphis. Rains was taken into custody shortly thereafter in the afternoon. He was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, felony reckless endangerment, felony evading, felony vandalism, and other traffic-related charges. New at 5, millions in security upgrades are in the works at Memphis Shelby County Schools after security officials there say that these upgrades are necessary to keep students and faculty safe. Now, these upgrades could come if the board approves the new budget tonight. Action News 5's Bria Bolden is live now outside of the Board of Education office where tonight's meeting will be held. And Bria, how much money would this give to the school district and where will all this money go?
Yeah, well, school board members are going to vote on over $5.5 million for new cameras, upgraded security systems, and more. Now, in a board briefing document, security staff told board members it was imperative current equipment be upgraded in schools. They also say the purpose of this upgrade is to ensure the safety and security of all students and staff as mass shootings and active shooter incidents are on the rise across the country. Now, here's a breakdown of where that more than $5.5 million in upgrades will go. Just over $2.5 million of that money will be used for purchasing licenses, control equipment, and intrusion wiring. Another $2.5 million will be used to buy security cameras, communication systems, servers, and camera and access wiring. And over $400,000 will be used to purchase more cameras and backup power supplies. Now, MSCS told us about a month ago that this past school year they invested about $1.4 million in safety and security. Now, that all went to metal detectors, new camera systems, and more. Tonight's vote is about 3 times more than that previous investment. We'll let you know on how board members vote tonight at 10. Reporting live in Memphis, Bria Bolden, Action News 5.
Bria, thanks. We'll be waiting for that update. A startling report tonight shows that more than half of Memphis Shelby County Schools second graders will have to repeat that grade simply because they cannot read on grade level. MSCS says that 56% of students, which means that 4,604 of those 8,153 second graders are at high risk of being held back. Memphis Shelby County Schools is offering summer schools, but at last check, 481 students haven't showed up. The superintendent is pleading with parents tonight, saying, quote, "We need the community's help in getting these recent second graders in class Monday morning," end quote. The district's chief academic officer, Jaron Carson, said, quote, "Our school leaders have reached out multiple times through phone calls, emails, teachers' notes, and text messages to the families of students who know they need extra interventions. However, with district leaders trying to contact parents, one local parent says that the district isn't doing enough.
They said they called, text. Somebody got to step out and step up to reach these families. If it was my student, I'd knock on their door.
If students aren't able to read by the second grade, this could have a domino effect on your child. According to Karen Vogelsang, who is the executive director of Arise to Read, if students aren't reading at grade level by the end of third grade, they will not be able to comprehend anything for the remainder of their education. By the end of this week, a slew of new laws is going into effect in Tennessee. A number of them are targeting crime. Truth in sentencing legislation will be going into effect requiring a person to serve 100% of their sentence with most violent crimes before becoming eligible for their release. This became law without the approval of Governor Bill Lee. Another piece of legislation will require those convicted of first-degree murder, rape, and attempted burglary to be sentenced to death or life in prison without the possibility of parole. Senate Bill 2087 creates stricter penalties for those involved in drive-by shootings. Lastly, the Joe Clyde Daniels Act would make it more difficult for convicted murderers to be granted parole if they do not disclose the location of their victims' remains. The wife of a fallen MPD officer is suing multiple organizations regarding her late husband's death. Scotty Triplett, along with 10 officers, was escorting a group on May 22nd of last year when he was hit by another car. His wife is now suing the city of Memphis, Slingshot of Memphis, the driver of that car, and the person who promoted the procession. She is asking for $5 million in damages.
Another great day in the books here in the Mid-South. Look at this, a beautiful shot from our High 5 camera here in Midtown. A few clouds out there, but dry conditions persist. Our first alert Doppler radar confirming that this afternoon. And there's that little band of clouds, mainly along and north of the I-40 corridor, clearing back to the west, and we'll enjoy some of that as we get into the evening hours. Partly cloudy in Memphis International right now. 87 our current temperature. It's felt great. And as a matter of fact, 87 feels like 86 because of the dry air and the north wind that's in place. Now, our high temperature did top out at 91 today, which is average for this date. The low humidity, not so average. Should still be around 84 at 7, 77 at 9, and 74 at 11. Here's what you need to know. Humidity remains low for now. Now, temperatures are increasing, and we've got a hot and muggy pattern on the way. I've got your first alert to when it returns and what it means for rain chances. Your first alert forecast just minutes away.
All right, Ron, we'll see you then. Following Tennessee's Federal Court of Appeals decision lifting the 6-week abortion ban, Planned Parenthood providers are suspending all abortions in the state. Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas is live now to explain how Planned Parenthood says they will still be able to help women get the care they need. Stephanie.
Although the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals may have stopped abortions, Planned Parenthood says it's still helping women looking for those services elsewhere. Planned Parenthood says it created navigation services through its abortion funds. The navigation service provides patients with financial needs and to make sure they understand where they can seek options now. The Reproductive Health Care Clinic says its call center has already begun contacting its patients with the service.
For as many people as possible, we are providing financial resources to travel outside of Tennessee. We don't want finances to stand in the way of anybody accessing abortion services, either finances or logistical.
Planned Parenthood says they performed its last abortion procedure yesterday. Now coming up at 6 here, another way that Planned Parenthood is helping women seek reproductive care. Reporting in Memphis, I'm Stephanie Douglas, Action News 5.
Thank you, Stephanie. And now to today's coronavirus update. The Shelby County Health Department is reporting 241 new COVID-19 cases with no new deaths to the virus. The latest data shows that over the last 2 weeks, 850 of the new cases that have been reported were in children. Almost 300 vaccines are being administered per day. Almost 300,000 Shelby County residents are vaccinated. In Mississippi, more than 1,100 new COVID-19 cases are being reported, along with 4 new deaths. During a recent update, Dr. Thomas Dobbs made it clear that while the pandemic is improving, it is not over.
That we're having about over 200 folks in the hospital now with COVID. If we consider where we've been over the past few weeks, you can see we've had a steady rise in the number of hospitalizations, and we've also seen more and more folks within the intensive care unit.
Now, Dr. Dobbs also noted how northern Mississippi counties are being included in counties with high transmission rates.
There's a lot going on, Cass, but I don't know. Things might get real bad on January 6th.
New and next at 5, bombshell testimony on Capitol Hill today as a secret witness comes out testifying against former President Donald Trump. The disturbing new details about Trump's actions during the insurrection is just ahead. Plus, a fall from grace. Memphis police need your help catching this clumsy burglar who broke into a popular fast food chain. And a special surprise for a group of some young Memphis athletes during a hoop session. A look at the surprise Grizzly star who helped unveil a new court during the special hoop session.
Wake up with everything you need to know.
Get the Mid-South's most complete news coverage with us, plus weather and traffic, weekday mornings from 4 to 7.
It's just another way Action News 5 is taking action for you.
Telling your stories isn't just a job for me, it is a passion, my life's work. I care about making sure you know what's happening inside your communities so we can work together to make a difference.
Watch Kelly Cook weekends on Action News 5.
Taking action for you. You're watching Action News 5 at 5.
It was unpatriotic. It was un-American. We were watching the Capitol building get defaced over a lie.
Bombshell testimony from a former White House staffer describing the actions of former President Donald Trump on January 6th. Now, this was all a part of a surprise hearing from select committee members investigating the attack on the Capitol. Today, we heard from Cassidy Hutchinson, who was senior aide to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. She testified that Trump knew his supporters were carrying guns and weapons on January 6th, and that he was upset that metal detectors were used to prevent armed supporters from attending his rally. Trump allegedly attacked one of his own Secret Service members trying to get to the Capitol.
I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. "I'm the effing president. Take me up to the Capitol now."
The next hearings are set to resume next month. 3 people have been taken into custody after 46 people were found dead around a tractor trailer in San Antonio, Texas. 16 others were hospitalized. It is not clear if the 3 people who were currently in custody are affiliated with human trafficking. Now, authorities do not know how long the victims were in that truck. They presume, though, that it was a part of a migrant smuggling attempt. We've learned that 4 of the survivors were children. This was reported as the largest migrant tragedy in Texas. Homeland Security is leading the investigation. Another delay in the murder trial of former Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean. A judge granted his motion to recuse the trial judge. He shot Tatiana Jefferson while answering a welfare call in 2019, shooting through her window. Dean's lawyers argue that the trial judge showed bias towards their client in pretrial proceedings. Jury selection for the shooter of a Parkland high school resumed today in Broward County, Florida. The jury was expected to be seated by the end of court today, but it is likely going to be set for tomorrow morning. The judge canceled yesterday's court proceedings to give both parties time to prepare for the trial. Tomorrow, pre-trial evidentiary hearings are set to get underway in the penalty phase of the trial, which will begin on July 6th. Disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly will learn his fate tomorrow morning about some of the charges he is facing. He is set to be sentenced in New York tomorrow. He was convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering there last year. He could face more than 25 years in prison. Prosecutors argue that the lengthy sentence is needed to protect the public from people who commit those crimes. A judge has sentenced Ghislaine Maxwell to 20 years in prison for her role in sex trafficking minors. She was found guilty of carrying out a scheme with her boss, Jeffrey Epstein, to abuse underage girls. Epstein killed himself back in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial. Maxwell apologized to the victims, saying that she hopes this verdict will bring them some closure. Well, you really want to take a look at this video caught on camera right behind me. A burglar you can see here breaks into the Captain D's on E.H. Crump. He broke into that restaurant through the drive-thru window. He then crawled into the restaurant, but you see there, he took a hard fall. Yeah, you see that there. He took several items before taking off. If you know who he is, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number 901-528-CASH. Well, it was a very special day for a big group of kids enjoying summer basketball in East Memphis. Now, that is because they got some new courts to play on and a very special surprise guest made an appearance. Action News 5's Matt Infield has the story you'll only see here on 5.
Today, over 100 youth basketball players took part in a clinic at Haley Stadium in Memphis. Multiple refurbished courts unveiled, and it was extra special because a certain Grizzly you might have heard of was all part of it.
Just to show, that, I care and, do whatever I can to, make their lives better and also, give back to the city of Memphis.
As part of a collaboration with Coca-Cola Consolidated and Body Armor, Morant is helping refurbish a dozen courts throughout the city, and seeing the kids have a blast on their new courts today brought 12 back to his youth.
A lot of memories, being outside from, sun up, sun down, just out there, with my friends and family, just playing basketball. So to be able to see them do it, it definitely, brings back a lot of memories.
In a basketball city, its biggest star on the hardwood wants the younger generation to have opportunities he didn't when he was their age.
Let people experience some things they never have, before in life, give them access to, things that, I pretty much, didn't have in, my community.
Now, the Grizzlies All-Star also talked to us about multiple topics regarding his day job, including the trade of D'Anthony Melton, Tyus Jones and Petty free agency, and what he thought about the team's draft. We'll cover all of those throughout the night right here. In Memphis, Matt Infield, Action News 5.
It's about to get hot and muggy. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. Dry day in the area and a good one, too. It was a little warmer with temperatures around the Mid-South, but overall, our dry pattern continues. High pressure moving off to the east, but I think we're going to see another area of high pressure develop right around the middle Mississippi River Valley, and that will keep a northerly flow in play just a little bit longer. Now, the dew point trend, that's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. It's going to be in the 50s again tomorrow when we have that dry air, low humidity, feeling good. But then it's going to start to get a little humid as we get into Thursday, Friday, and then by the end of the weekend, the beginning of next week, that's when it's going to feel downright muggy. And with that comes an increase in temperatures. We're looking at mid-90s on Thursday, lower 90s tomorrow, but it won't feel so bad. Right around 91, the average. We'll get in those average temperatures, but it's going to feel hotter next week. And with the additional moisture comes an increase in rain chances, especially as we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on into next week. And by the time it's all said and done, Thursday through Tuesday, we could end up from Memphis south with about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall in the form of scattered hit-and-miss showers. A little less likely the farther north you go. Right now, looking south into Oxford, it is dry and lovely outside. Temperatures, 86 in Oxford, 87 in Memphis, 81 in Dyersburg right now. We're finding temperatures right around the low to mid 80s for most areas. Tonight, we're going to fall in the 50s Around parts of West Tennessee, yeah, that dry air keeping it cool. Low to mid 60s in northern Mississippi and eastern Arkansas. You'll find temperatures upper 50s, low to mid 60s as well. Will be a mostly clear night. We'll fall to 68 in Memphis, a light northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour, so another great night coming our way. By 10 in the evening, we're looking at upper 60s to low to mid 70s in the area. Then tomorrow morning at 8, we start the day with sunshine. Should be in the upper 60s to low 70s all around the mid-south. As we get into the afternoon hours, mid and upper 80s, temperatures getting in the lower 90s for highs in many areas tomorrow afternoon. But again, with the lower humidity, it won't feel so bad. Now by 7 in the evening, another nice night shaping up. A few clouds coming into play, and Futurecast even trying to show a slight chance of a stray shower to our south and east. Although I think most of the day, most of the area is going to be dry tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine throughout. 71 at 7 in the morning, 86 at noon, 91 at 3, 90 at 5, and should be around 88 at 7 with the high topping out at 93 degrees. Then the hot and muggy comes into play. 30% chance of rain Thursday and Friday, 94 the high Thursday, 92 Friday. I think we'll see a few more scattered showers and storms Saturday and Sunday. Not a washout for the weekend, but a little more activity, especially from Memphis south. And then there remains a chance of rain on Monday and into Tuesday, but just mainly hot and humid once we get to Thursday and into next week. That more typical summertime pattern coming back into play. But today, great birthday weather.
All right, Ron, happy birthday. A nice birthday gift for you and me since my birthday's tomorrow. Well, still to come on Action News 5 at 5, groundbreaking on a new training center in Mississippi's capital. How organizers of this new facility is hoping to inspire the next generation of broadcast journalists. Stay with us.
I'm Jana Neely, and this is My Bluff City Life. Join me weekdays at noon. We'll write our love letter to Memphis and the Mid-South. And you can sign your name right next to ours. Together, we'll explore our history, meet people making a difference in our communities, and discover new foods and extraordinary entertainment. I can't wait to introduce you to our Bluff City Life.
Watch Bluff City Life with Gina Neely, weekdays at noon on Action News 5.
The Mid-South is my home. I've raised my family here. It's why I take action for you, bringing you news that impacts your family.
Andrew Douglas, Action News 5.
Taking action for you. You're watching Action News 5.
Well, there is a chance for you to take in the Mud Island up close with the return of Sunset Kayak. This family-friendly event gives visitors the chance to get 30 minutes of kayak time for free. I like that price. It happens this Thursday from 6 until 8 p.m. at the Mud Island Park boat ramp at Front Street Garage, or you can park on Mud Island, but you'll have to pay. If you can't make it out to this one, you'll have another chance on July the 28th. Our Gray Media sister station in Jackson, Mississippi is hoping to inspire the next generation of journalists. WLBT broke ground today on a media training center that will launch in the fall. It will help prepare students for a world of broadcast journalism and improve diversity in the industry. It will give one-of-a-kind hands-on training in news operations in other fields like sales, marketing, and engineering.
It will be unbelievable experience for them as they begin their career and they start their career, to have that jump start. And that's what this is all about, is helping these students have a chance, giving them an opportunity to become very capable and qualified candidates to either work at WLBT, work with Gray, or work somewhere in the industry, and then ultimately enhance and improve the diversity of our business. That's the bottom line.
The center will be constructed over the next 6 months. 10 students will be in the first class, but the center's director says that number will grow as the program gets bigger. Here is a preview of what you'll see tonight on NBC Nightly News.
Nightly News coming to you from Washington tonight, where I interviewed Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg about the ongoing delays and cancellations in the airline system, and specifically what can be done about it as we head into another long holiday weekend. That's tonight on NBC Nightly News.
And you can watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt right after the end of this newscast. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Ron Childers has one final check of the forecast.
Take a look at what's happening. We've got some more great weather tomorrow. A little warmer, 93 the high, but low humidity. Then it gets hot and muggy Thursday. We see rain chances come back into play. We're going to take a closer look at Saturday and Sunday. That's coming up at 6.
Thank you, Ron, and thank you all for joining us for Action News 5 at 5. We'll see you back here tonight at 6, where we'll have the latest on the FedEx pilot strike. That story and others in 30 minutes. The NBC Nightly News is next. We'll see you then. Take care.
With the WMC Action News 5 mobile app, you'll be the first to know.
From WMCActionNews5.com to text and email alerts for breaking news and weather. It's all right here in the palm of your hand. Sponsored by the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.